What if I told you that Harry Potter's first real enemy at Hogwarts wasn't a student but actually a teacher? And not just any teacher, but one of the most cold, mysterious, and intimidating professors in the entire castle, Professor Snape. And this is not just a story about a strict class, but about humiliation, silent hatred, and the exact moment Harry realizes that Hogwarts is not as safe and friendly as it looks. So the story begins as Harry, Ron, and Hermione walk down a narrow staircase deep into the Hogwarts dungeon, where the air slowly turns colder and heavier with every step. The torches flicker along the stone walls like they're alive. Ron keeps complaining that classes are supposed to be upstairs, not inside what feels like a horror movie. Hermione logically explains that dungeons are perfect for potion making because of controlled temperature and lighting, but even she sounds slightly uncomfortable, and Harry stays quiet because deep down he feels something strange. Something personal, like this moment is more important than it should be. And as they enter the potions classroom, everything changes instantly. The room is dark, filled with shelves of glass jars containing strange creatures floating in liquids, twisted roots, and unknown substances that make the entire place feel unsettling. And suddenly the room goes silent, completely silent, because Professor Snape is already there, standing at the front like a shadow that never needed to enter, dressed in flowing black robes, pale face, and eyes so sharp they feel like they can see right through you. And without raising his voice, he completely controls the room as he begins speaking in a calm but cutting tone, saying there will be no foolish wand-waving in this class, and that they are here to learn the subtle science and exact art of potion making. And then he delivers a line that instantly captures everyone's attention, saying he can teach them how to bottle fame, brew glory, and even put a stopper in death, which sounds less like a lesson and more like a warning. And just when students are pulled into his words, he suddenly turns and says one name, Potter, and that single word hits harder than any shout. Harry freezes as Snape begins firing questions one after another, asking about Asphodel and Wormwood, Bezoars, Monkshood and Wolfsbane, and the tension rises because Hermione clearly knows every answer. Her hand is practically shaking in the air, trying to be noticed, but Snape ignores her completely because this is not about testing the class. This is about targeting Harry, and when Harry fails to answer, Snape delivers the cold line that fame clearly isn't everything. And that moment turns into public humiliation as a few students laugh, Malfoy smirks, and Harry feels the sting not just of embarrassment but of realization. Because this doesn't feel random, it feels intentional, like Snape had already decided something about him before the class even began. And as the lesson continues, the same pattern repeats, with Snape asking only Harry, ignoring Hermione, and making no effort to actually teach. And by the time the class ends, Ron is angry, Hermione is frustrated, but Harry is thoughtful because he understands something deeper, that Snape wasn't trying to check knowledge but trying to prove a point. And that realization quietly follows him as the scene shifts completely. From the dark dungeon to the bright open sky of the Hogwarts grounds, where the flying lesson begins, bringing a sudden change in mood as fresh air replaces the suffocating tension. Madame Hooch instructs the students to hold out their hands and command their brooms to rise. And while many struggle, Harry's broom jumps perfectly into his hand on the first try, surprising even him, showing a natural talent that immediately sets him apart. Ron is impressed, Malfoy is clearly annoyed. But before the moment can settle, Neville loses control of his broom, rises too high in panic, and falls hard to the ground, injuring himself, reminding everyone that magic is not just exciting but dangerous. And as Madame Hooch takes Neville away, leaving strict instructions behind, the tension returns in a different form as Malfoy sees an opportunity, picking up Neville's Remembrall and teasingly tossing it in the air before challenging Harry to take it back. And when Harry demands it, Malfoy flies up and throws it, breaking the rules without hesitation. And in that moment, Harry faces a choice between following rules or trusting his instinct. And without overthinking, he grabs his broom and takes off into the air, shocking everyone as he flies with speed and control that feels completely natural, chasing the falling Remembrall as the wind rushes past him and the ground drops away. And as the ball falls faster, Harry dives after it in a moment that feels both reckless and perfect at the same time. And just before it hits the ground, he stretches out his hand and catches it cleanly, pulling up in a way that leaves everyone stunned, turning what should have been a mistake into something extraordinary. But the victory lasts only a second before reality hits as Professor McGonagall's voice cuts through the air, calling his name. And suddenly Harry's triumph turns into fear because he believes he is in serious trouble, unaware that this moment is not the beginning of punishment, but the start of something much bigger that will change his life at Hogwarts forever.